Yeah, I'll explain first. Today we're doing narrative therapy. I'll be working with a client in a long-distance relationship, and we'll do externalization and mapping. All right. So, Nathan, tell me what brought you in today.
Well, I just got back from maybe a couple months ago a month ago from traveling abroad, and I met this girl, and it's a really close group, and really it's mainly anxiety. So I got into a relationship with her, but she lives somewhere else, and so we've been really connecting, but I don't know. I'm just being really stupid. I'm being very, I get really anxious when she doesn't text me within 2 minutes after I text her, and then we get in arguments really easily, and it blows up, and I want to deal with it right then, but she doesn't. So really just anxious about what she's doing, really wanting to know if she even cares.
Yeah, and so it's a long-distance relationship and still fairly new. And is that something that, you feel you should be controlling and you should have to, be able to know what's going on with her at all times? Is that a pressure that you feel?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I know that it's wrong. I don't need to know exactly what she's doing all the time, but at the same time, she gets really mad at me when I ask her. So I just, how do I control that? How do I,
How does, when she gets frustrated with you, how does that feel to you?
When she gets frustrated at me? When I ask her? Well, it shows me that she cares enough to argue with me, I guess. But it's just annoying because we don't really get to talk as much as we did. Because when we were on the trip together, and we were always together, and we didn't even have to text or call, we were just together. And now that we're back here, the past 3 weeks, she's been at school 300 miles away, and I'm here, so it's completely different. And so I didn't have any anxiety. We got in arguments when we were together, but now that she's there and I'm here, we visit once a week almost with each other. She drives here or I drive there, and the anxiety isn't, when she's here it's fine, or when I'm there it's fine, but when we're away, that's when it's really hard.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And, from what you were saying in the start of your relationship, you two were together, and so now it's kind of finding a new normal while you are in separate places, trying to build that relationship. So it kind of sounds situational.
Yeah, it is. It's only when we're away, and it is new.
Yeah.
The normal is that she's there and I'm here, and until summer, when we both live in the same place and go to school in different places. So during summer it'll be fine. But
yeah. So the situation and the anxiety of the relationship really comes from, when you're apart. When you're together, it sounds like things feel pretty normal, pretty good. How does that anxiety affect you in other ways, other than in the relationship? Does it reach other places in your life?
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, you mean like my schoolwork?
Schoolwork, or with friends, or with family?
Not really much with family. I've been talking to my mom and dad about it. They've been helpful. They support me because this is my first relationship that I've been in, really.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, I guess I get anxious And then it spills into other areas, like not really with my friends, but maybe when I'm alone, like I'll just play video games
Yeah.
and I guess if I'm in class, it'll affect me because I'll text her and then I won't feel a text back,
Yeah.
the whole class period, and I wonder what she's doing or thinking.
Feel a little distracted
Yeah,
from the situation.
yeah, I do.
How have you been thinking about yourself in this relationship? Has the anxiety been turned on you at all, where you're unsure of how you should feel? So you were saying this is
exactly.
your first relationship, and so you're kind of testing the waters of what's normal, what's not normal, and that might feel kind of uneasy
Yeah,
in a long distance.
it is. It's different, and I've never been in a relationship before, so what do you think I should do with my, is that a red flag to you, that I'm kind of freaking out when she doesn't respond, or?
Well, based on that alone, the relationship is kind of separate from the anxiety, where it sounds like the anxiety is kind of a product of the situation and that it's new. And so, even just giving yourself a little bit of grace for the fact that this is kind of a learning curve.
Yeah.
First relationship, you started out in the same place, and you were studying abroad, and that was probably really a great experience together. And now that you're in two different places, expecting yourself to figure out right away the dynamics of what that will look like, and the communication and all of that, that's a lot to expect right up front. And so that in and of itself is kind of separate from you and separate from the relationship, I would say, as well. So
What do you mean?
well, from that, if it's a good relationship or not, the fact that, it is long distance, it's your first relationship, that's kind of something to work through in and of itself.
Yeah.
Where the anxiety is coming from that. It's not because you're doing something wrong or she's doing something wrong necessarily. It's just a product of this new experience that you're having.
Yeah.
So yeah. And tell me a little bit more about how you guys met and studying abroad.
Well, it was
experience for you.
I was shy, but then